Next question, if elected, what would be your first order of
My first priority is changing the culture at City Hall. For too long, we've had a very insulated, very homogenous group of people running this city. And we need to change the outlook. We need to get out in front of the public. And so my first order of business would be to make sure that each council person had 5 town halls each year. That way they had to hear the complaints. That way they had to hear the compliments. They had to go in front of the people. Without that, I don't think that just getting new opinions into office does us that much good. We really need to change the way we look at our planning, our decision-making process, much more than we need to solve each crisis as it hits us, whether it's STRs or red light cameras or, all the different things that have come up over the last few years. But also I would like to see at least 10 propositions a year on the ballot where people propose the laws and then get to vote on them.
One of the first things I like to do is just audit the way we run our city government. We have a budget of over $521 million, and there are some departments that get a lion's share of that money, and some of the more needy departments are going without. And we're taking those same employees and we're sending them out to Ranger Stadium, out to Cowboy Stadium, out to Texas Live. They're using 80% of those employees while the city only gets 20% while that's going on. And I don't see an appropriate balance in the way that we manage the dollars that you're spending. I'd also like to seriously look at the tax abatements that are going on that are causing you and me to pay more taxes because the corporations like Jerry Jones's Cowboy Stadium, I love the Cowboys, I love the Rangers, but they're not paying their fair share. So I'd like to find a way to work to get the fair share back, because I've looked at the tax abatements and they have increased since this mayor that is currently here has come into office. It has increased 10 times since 2013. He came in 2015 and the tax abatements went way, way up. That means that our taxes, yours and mine, are going way, way up because the abatements are going up, so that means we're paying more.
Mm-hmm. Next question, why should you be elected?
This is always a tough one for me. Why should I be elected? I really don't like the idea of the mayor being the central figure, being a persona that demands all of the attention in the room. I'd much rather do my best to get other people's voices heard than to sit up in front and let everybody know what's right and what's wrong and where this city's going. I know it's a different approach. I know this is not like most politicians, but I think the main reason that I can come up with choosing me for mayor of Arlington is that I really honestly don't know the right answers. So I'm willing to listen. I want to have conversations that I don't have to say at the end, oh, I was right all along. I'd love to learn new things about this city, have new ideas brought up, and change my mind over and over again. I know that sounds wishy-washy, but honestly, when better information becomes available, you have to listen to it.
Hello, I've been talking to citizens all across Arlington, and what I'm hearing from them is that Arlington city leaders are not listening to them. They make their decisions, they vote on them, they let you speak about it, but the decisions are already made before the vote's ever cast. And so I want people to feel like this is their city and that they have a voice. I'm a neighborhood person. I developed a neighborhood association, and we had a conversation around gas well drilling, and then it grew from that. And then we found out that we had some very limited powers at City Hall. So I'd like to make sure that people feel like their voices are heard, and I want to make sure that we look at opportunity grants. That means our underserved neighborhoods would start having an opportunity for some economic development. I'd also like to do some private-public partnerships that could increase job opportunities for people that are underemployed right now. We must face the fact that Arlington is a tale of two cities. We've got growing poverty and we've got growing wealth, and the gap is growing wider and wider. We must bring that thing to a halt.
So this will be my last question before I open it to the audience. I want to respond to what you just said about income equality. And it's something that I've always, since I became more aware of pressing issues in this country, in this state, in this city, it's something that I'm aware of, and I'm very curious to what you two, as potential mayors of the city, will do to address income equality in the city of Arlington.
Well, I know one thing we could do as a city. We could literally do a survey and find out what people's earnings are truly, not what we project them to be. I'm also concerned when I look at City Hall, and we have some city employees who are only working 36 hours a week, and they are getting paid minimum wage so that they don't get any benefits. But they're going to work for you and me every day. I believe we need to find a way to resolve that. I've been endorsed by over 9 different organizations, and a lot of them are labor unions who are concerned about the treatment of working families or working employees in Arlington City Hall. I'm also concerned that we are really not being our greatest selves. We all have a common purpose in the city, and that common purpose is to make sure that we have a safe community, that our public schools are the greatest, that we have a thriving economy, and that we make sure that our communities are being policed and patrolled by those policemen who know who the people are in the community. So I'm pushing community policing because I know it works and it reduces crime.
Ruby said the exact right thing. There's a tale of two cities in Arlington. The average household income the last time I checked was 52 to 54,000, I believe, in Arlington. And this next year, with the opening of the new stadium, our council will be receiving $65,000 in luxury box tickets each, more than the average income. And so you see that they have a different set of concerns than maybe we do. I'm a substitute teacher, which means I earn next to nothing. And it's one of those things that I've been forced to live with my parents in order to stay a resident of Arlington while I'm raising my son. There's a lot of people that are very desperate in this town, and desperate people tend to do desperate acts. And so we have to lower that level of desperation. How we do that? I think part of it is maintaining lower taxes, because that money coming out of your paycheck is hurting your family. The services the city provides can help, but you know best how to help your family.